Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm here with the czar of the playbook, Emery Hunt, and I'm Tyler Merkovich. This is the 2019 preview for the St. Louis Rams, and what an abysmal year it was for those Rams. Billy Devaney, general manager, first thing he goes to get is a new head coach, a highly touted defensive coordinator from New York, Steve Spagnuolo. They lost 10 games in a row to end the season. First round pick is Jason Smith out of Baylor. They hope he could run block with Steven Jackson in the back. They also pick up Jason Brown from the Ravens.
Their offensive line was terrible last year. Most of the quarterbacks spent the time on their backs, so they had to revamp that offensive line. They had to revamp their whole team. They won 2 games, so not much they did last year worked. So you have to go back and find out what did work and build on that. But the changes they made on the offensive line, I think, is going to help them out this year. They bring in Jason Smith from Baylor, which allows them to move Alex Barron to his more natural position of left tackle, which he should be more improved because the spotlight is going to be on him. So he has to, step up his game this year. Jason Smith is going to play right tackle, which is going to help out the running game because he's going to command that strong side linebacker on the most defenses, and he's going to help out on the defensive end. So I like the fact that they have Incognito. As a guard, he's a nasty player. He fights after every play. You got to love that from your interior linemen. So I think across the board, the offensive line is going to be much more improved. They're building this team back up the right way.
Adam Barron has been lethargic in his career. If he could have a little motivation with Jason Brown on the other side, it's better than what they had last year. Running back position, Steven Jackson, he's a beast. What's the outlook?
And I'm biased to running backs because I play running back, but I love Steven Jackson. This guy he's not your typical big guy just, plowing to the line. He has moves, and he also has vision, which allows him to break a lot more longer runs than most people expect out of a big back. 6'3", 235, can really move, and he's aggressive, and he can pass block. I like that about his game. So he's a complete back, and his hands are vastly underrated coming out the backfield. So he's the ultimate weapon in that backfield. And so him going on with that revamped offensive line, look for him to be a little bit healthier this year and to have more yards than he had last year. Look for him to get back into that 1,500-yard range and double-digit touchdowns. So all you fantasy owners, be sure to lock up Steven Jackson.
Vision is the key to running back success. That's why you're sitting here right now. So that offensive line you mentioned, can they protect Mark Bolger, keep him upright? And they got a rookie last year out of Houston who came on, and he made Torrey Holt expendable, Donnie Avery, and Keenan Burton, who out of Kentucky, who wasn't even drafted. He might start alongside Avery.
I like Burton. I like the fact that Burton, I like his build. He's 6 feet, 200 pounds. Burton is a guy that played in the SEC, so he played in the passing offense in Kentucky with a great quarterback down there, Andre Woodson. So I like Keenan Burton. Donnie Avery came on last year. He had 2 real huge games, kind of padded his stats to make it look like he played well throughout. But he's a deep threat. But they really need some more guys down there in St. Louis as receivers to help out Mark Bolger. As he only goes, as so does the offensive line. So Bolger, he's kind of dropped off the last couple of years, partly because of injuries and poor pass protection. So hopefully he's healthy this year and he can get back to being the Bolger that we all knew when he led the Rams to the NFC Championship game. So I look for Bolger to try to improve. I mean, because he has to. They don't have a backup behind him capable. They have Kyle Bowler, which I don't know how Kyle Bowler continues to get jobs in the NFL, but he has another job, and so he's gonna hopefully we don't have to see Kyle Bowler this year in the Rams uniform.
Defensive side of the ball, this is where Spagnuolo has had success in the NFL, and Chris Long, they drafted last year, their first-round pick. Also Leonard Little. They move Adam Character to the inside. They draft James Laurinaitis at Ohio State. They also have Will Witherspoon. How's that front seven going to fare?
Front seven is going to be much improved with the health of Leonard Little. He's going to be all right. He had an up and down year last year, so he's coming to play every week. I like the fact that they have James Hall as a backup. He's a good guy, former starter in Detroit. Chris Long had some rookie struggles last year as expected, but this year he's going to be much improved as he's getting more comfortable going from a 3-4 alignment to a 4-3 alignment with the Rams. And the problem on that defensive line is the D tackles. They need to get more production out of Adam Carricker. He has to produce. They also have another guy next to him in Clifton Ryan that's a starter. But they drafted a guy out of Clemson, Darrell Scott, big guy, 6'1", 313. So look for the position battle in the offseason from Ryan and Scott. So with that said, the defensive line should help the young linebacking core. They had Quentin Culberson 2 years ago from Mississippi State, big thumper, kind of tailed off last year, which allowed Chris Draft to take his spot. So with that problem, they do have depth with those two guys on strong side. So, and I do like the fact that they have Will Witherspoon come back. He's a beast off the end. Now the question is, can rookie middle linebacker James Laurinaitis come in and step up and be the big playmaker they need? Problem is, a lot of his tackles were made at Ohio State down the field. He's kind of thin-legged, thin-bodied. So will he be able to hold up in the NFL? But that all depends on whether or not the two guys in front of him, those defensive tackles, are able to keep those guards and centers off of him.
One of the fewest strengths for the Rams, the secondary, Oshimugo Otogwe has come on as a safety to pick up James Butler from the Giants, and their two corners, Ty Hill out of Clemson, who has some promise, not really showing it yet, and Ron Bartell.
Ron Bartell was the biggest free agent signing for them. They just re-signed him because he had a lot of offers from other teams, but he was their best corner last year, so they had to bring him back in order to build that secondary the way they need to be. Otogwe is a ball hawk in the truest sense of the word. Interceptions, fumble recoveries, forced fumbles. Wherever the football is on the field, you see Otogwe around that ball. I like Ty Hill. He just have to stay healthy. But they do have another guy from Penn State, Justin King, that's going to give Ty Hill a push for his spot. So with that creates competition, which makes both players better. So you're going to see the true Ty Hill come back this season, and you're going to see more Justin King in that nickel situation. So I like the fact what they've done with their cornerbacks. And they also drafted Bradley Fletcher out of Iowa, a guy that can play corner and safety, versatility. So the Rams secondary looks more improved, which was the strong suit of their team last year, was their secondary. So imagine that being more improved this year. So they should be good, all right, in the back four.
Will they have any problems in the special teams?
Special teams, I think, with the addition of Justin King. One thing about Penn State players, they're versatile. He can return kicks. You're gonna see a lot of Keenan Burton back there. You're also gonna see Donnie Avery back there returning kicks. These are smaller guys with speed to burn. So I think the special teams are gonna be okay. They play on that turf in St. Louis, and so they should be fine. But I really like the fact that both those starting wide receivers can also double back as kick and punt returners.
A change in the regime in St. Louis from offense. Now they're officially going defense. I could see them running a lot, playing defense. NFC West, it was tailed off last year, but this year, Arizona, San Fran, and Seattle all improving. Where is St. Louis headed?
I think St. Louis might be at the bottom of the division, but they will definitely improve on those 2 wins. Spagnuolo is going to bring attitude to that defense. And they're gonna fly around the ball. You're gonna see a lot more blitzing coming from these Rams. So I think the Rams are gonna be much improved, maybe 5 to 6 wins. But they're gonna be last. It's gonna be a fight between them and Seattle. But I think Seattle will finish ahead of them, 4th place in the NFC West.
Defensive. Spagnuolo will have this team thinking defensive. The czar of the playbook. That's Emery Hunt. I'm Tyler Merkovich.